Hello, everybody. Welcome to the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. My name is Sandy, and I'm joined today with Anna, and we are here for our midweek reset. You'll have to excuse my voice between the pollen, the smoke, the air quality. I've been struggling a little bit, so I am hoping that today's practice helps to open up my capacity to breathe, which is why we do a lot of these practices, right, Anna?
Yeah.
So what is today? God, it's June 7th already. You guys, I can't believe it. My kids only have like 6 days left of school. I don't know about you, but I am ready to be in summer mode. And speaking of being in summer mode, that kind of means that I think we only have a couple of weeks left of Soul Saturday, because we have decided that we are going to just kind of exist on the school schedule, I think. That might not be the final answer after a meeting I'm about to have this weekend, but as of right now, this Saturday we do have... It's DJ Ray and Reverend Mickey Loftus, who are going to be the DJs this weekend. And then on Friday night, we have Sarah Robbins leading our integrated recovery practices group. And we're going to be doing like an essential oil tutorial kind of class. And everybody's going to leave with a crystal roll on. So I have all these different rollers, and they all have different crystals. So you'll be able to choose the crystal that best matches your intention. And then, of course, the essential oils that kind of illuminate whatever the intention is also. So that'll be fun. I always like it when we create something and then we leave with it, because then we have this little reminder in our pocket that we are all connected. And this is why we do what we do here at the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. We're all about integration, hope, connection. So sign up for our newsletter at pcsam.org to stay up to date on all the latest events and happenings. So every week we do this midweek reset with Anna, which again, I feel like it should be Friday. That's the kind of week I've had already. So I'm excited to breathe with you, Anna. I love this flow.
Oh,
it's so
thank you.
nice and like gentle and beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that because, I think that we hit the ground running on Monday, and by the time Wednesday comes, we're feeling a little run down with all of the effort and work that we do. So it's a real gift to be able to be here and share this practice with you, and also just share like little tidbits of yoga and what it means and how it relates to our lives. And so there's lots of little things that you learn in a practice about yourself, about going into stillness, and just about the things that we internally and outwardly build with our energy and our frequency. So building on more kindness, building on more patience, building on more rest, taking rest and self-care. So I'm super grateful to be a part of PCSNM and our group here in our community, because I feel that we represent something very important that actually isn't seen. Like who tells you go take care of yourself, go self-care yourself. And when you come here, that's what we do. Whether it's workshops, breath work, yoga, and anything else that comes along. Our wonderful CBD products.
Yeah, calming our central nervous system
Yep.
has become, a full-time job in this world that we live in for all of us. So.
Yes, which is why I love what I do, because I love teaching people about their nervous systems and how our body works with this practice. So I hope that I can bring in some
belly breathing.
Yes, and breathing, and we'll tap into the meridians, the lung meridians, to help with that, because I feel it too. I think it's been, I feel it today. So after a few days, today kind of hit where I'm like, something's not feeling right. And it's not like I'm healthy, but smoke can also irritate your soft tissue as you inhale it, even though you don't feel it coming in. So it's kind of feeling that. So I can use some of that too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to practice off camera today.
It's tea and yoga today.
Oh, do you have tea? I have just water because I got to hydrate before I medicate,
Yeah, well, the weather, I wish the sun would come out. I'm still waiting for it to come back to 70.
But then again, we need the rain, so we can't be mad at the rain.
We do. We need the...
I've had Blame It on the Rain stuck in my head, or November Rain. These two songs for like 5 days. It's like just going back and forth. So.
And I've been listening to Purple Rain.
There you go. Full circle. Well, all right, let's go dance in the rain.
Yeah. All right. Sandy, do you want your cushion?
Oh, sure.
All right. So I opened up my Yamas and Niyamas book, and I opened right to one of the Yamas called tapas. So the Niyamas, tapas. Tapas is self-discipline, and I loved what I read when I opened it up right away, and it says, tapas is our determined effort to become someone of character and strength. So it's really nice to maybe to think about that, because I don't think that we really think about what we're building every day with the actions that we take, with the thoughts that we have. So on that, with every practice, we are creating our character in strength, in love, in higher frequency. And I think that it's important to think about these things, these explorations that we come across. Character and strength. So sitting up nice and tall as we begin to settle into our practice this afternoon. Hands can rest on the lap, and you can use a pillow or a blanket to roll underneath your hips, to lift your hips and ease the tension in the hips, lifted above the knees, relaxing the shoulders, and beginning to shift your breath, shifting into a more slow-paced breath. Awareness of the diaphragm as you begin to lengthen the inhales. Awareness to slow down the exhales. As always, hands can reflect what it is you need today, whether it is some grounding, receiving, or tapping into your intuition, your inner wisdom. Gyan Mudra to tap into your inner wisdom and stimulate your pineal gland and pituitary gland with the tips of your index finger and thumb touching. Palms up, 3 additional fingers extended outward. Beginning to feel the shift in the breath as it begins to shift the mind energy. Bringing the awareness to your sits bones, the 2 pelvic points connecting to your seat. Maybe shifting left and right to feel the connection. Awareness to the belly as it expands on your in-breath and it gently falls on your out-breath. Awareness to your shoulders, allowing them to gently soften. Awareness to your jaw. Notice if you're feeling some tension there and just gently moving the jaw, maybe left and right, or relaxing the tongue. And with relaxing the tongue, feel the back of the tongue feel heavy. Awareness to the third eye, and taking the gaze to the third eye or the point between the brows. And then let's travel to the crown of the head to lengthen mindfully towards the sky, creating the space between the vertebra for the energy to flow, through the nerves that extend to our entire body. Inviting you at this time to bring in your intention. Remembering that it is intention that drives our actions, and it is these intentions we carry through our practice, take with us once we leave this sacred space. Inviting you to swallow at the back of our throats. Gently fluttering the eyes open when you're ready. And my hands will come to the heart to greet you. Namaste and good afternoon. All right, take a nice deep breath in as we raise our palms together. You can take a peek up at our palms here, extend up to the sky, and then flip the palms, press everything away, touch the fingertips to the mat or the ground. Continue to lengthen through the crown. Inhale, palms rise again, take a peek up at the palms, reach up, and then take the gaze forward. Nice deep breath in, exhale, lower the arms down, fingertips at the ground, at the mat. Inhale, palms up again. Take a look at the palms. Bring the palms down to heart. All right, let's release the hands. We're going to take our body into a circular movement. On the inhale, we're going to begin to shift our body around our pelvic bowl. And as you rotate, inhale, exhale slowly, moving yourself with your breath, shifting some of the energy in the lower body, loosening some up so that when we do forward fold, that energy releases. And then come to center, lengthen on the in-breath, and then go the opposite direction. Or just flow the opposite direction, whatever feels good to you. One more round. And then come to center. Let's gently bring the soles of our feet together. Say hello to your feet. Take a bind around the toes, interlacing the fingers. And then take a nice deep breath in, lengthen through the crown, pull the navel in, and just feel that stretch right there. So notice what you feel in your hip flexors. You might feel a little tightness there. I'm creating a little tension between my shoulders and my feet, so by gently pressing into my hands, inhaling, lengthening through the crown. And notice how the hips begin to ease. It might take a little time if they're really, really tight. Take a nice deep breath in, lengthen through the crown again. Exhale, hinge at the hips. And then maybe bring the elbows forward. And here you can just keep the head upright, or you can drape over, however you feel. Just hinging forward, and the mindfulness of that hinge by the sensation of what you feel in your hips. Kind of inching forward if that feels good. Notice what happens or what shifts when you bring the shoulders back. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Release the feet, but then open your feet like a book. We're going to give ourselves a massage. So the thumbs can come to the base of the heel and gently press in, and then begin to travel that thumb in the middle of the foot all the way up to the pads and the toes of the feet, gently squeezing and traveling up and down. And then maybe squeezing the feet or pulling on the toes if that feels good, taking a little pressure at the tips of the toes. What we're doing is stimulating different parts of our body because our feet are full of nerve endings that represent different parts of our body. I love the practice of reflexology and seeing those maps of the feet and the hands and how everything is connected to our body. I'm not an expert at all in that practice, but I definitely appreciate it and have experienced it. So take a nice squeeze of the feet and then bring the thumbs back down, and then mindfully slowly begin to press on the feet again, just in a different way. And notice if you are pressing into any tenderness. If you are, take a nice deep breath in and gently press into that tenderness a little bit more. Just gently, and then releasing, just kind of waking up that meridian point or points in the feet. Sometimes the tenderness can be like between the toes on the top part. You can feel between the toes on the top part of the foot. Sometimes there can be tenderness there. Sometimes the tenderness can be around the ankle, like just on the sides of the heels. So you can bring your hands behind the heels and press with the thumbs and press with the fingers. So if you're on your feet a lot, your feet will thank you for this. And then what I'm doing now is pressing on the outside edge of the feet and then pulling on the toes. Gentle pressure on the tips of the toes as you pull. All right. Let's extend our legs forward into Dandasana, pose or staff pose, flexing the feet, bring the shoulders back, arms by your side. Nice deep breath in, and then gently bring those legs back into cross and Sukhasana. Let's warm up our spine while we're seated. On the inhale, take the heart forward and the shoulders back. Gaze up towards the sky, and on the exhale, chin's going to move towards the chest as you round in. Inhale, lead with the heart. Take the gaze up. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding in. So remember, if you are watching this and your practice is not on the mat, that is okay. You can practice on a chair and join us in this practice. And if you're unfamiliar with how this practice can shift into a chair, there's lots of videos on our YouTube channel where you can find some videos there to also guide you. All right, let's come to center. Take the gaze up to the sky and then gently guide the lower jaw forward. So you feel a stretch in the front of the neck. Take a nice deep breath in, lower, release the jaw and lower the head back to center. Take that left ear to the left shoulder. Oh, I'm mirror teaching again. Right ear to right shoulder, and then come to center, left ear to left shoulder, or just opposite side. come back to center. Let's lower the chin to the chest. Gaze comes back to center. Let's draw little circles with our nose. I love this little exercise because it's so gentle for the cervical spine. And then go the opposite direction. And release, come back to center. All right, let's get into let's get on our backs. I was going to say let's get into tabletop, but let's get on our backs. I think that we're going to tap in just a little bit differently. Let me take a sip of my tea. All right, so bring both knees into the chest as you're lying down. Get into that lower back. Squeeze the knees into the chest. Lower the chin towards the chest, tucking in. And then give a full body stretch. Extend the legs, extend the arms over the head, reaching in opposite directions. Nice deep breath in. Stretching, stretching, and then arms by your side, bend your knees, and let's do windshield wiper side to side. So you can keep your feet hip distance apart, or you can heel toe them out to the edges of the mat. And then your hands can just lie on your lap as you shift the knees side to side. A little movement in the hips. And then from here, bring the knees back to center, and then gently bring the knees inward. Inhale, arms over the head. Just a gentle stretch here with the knees touching. And then arms float back down. Bring the feet back to hip distance. All right, so let's bring that right knee into chest. Extend that left foot out. Flex both feet. And then gently guide that knee towards the right shoulder. Tuck the chin. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. And release. Other side. Left knee to chest. Flex both feet. Tuck the chin. Tuck the shoulders. Knee reaches towards the shoulder. And release. Full body stretch, arms over the head. And then we're going to roll over to our right side and come onto our bellies. All right, so come all the way down and bring the hands right underneath your shoulders. I'm just going to scoot up a little bit. And this is Cobra Pose. We're going to give a little stretch to the front part of our chest. Bring the legs together, or just depending, you can bring the legs hip distance apart, but I like them together. Take a nice deep breath in and press all 10 toes in as you lift the heart. Keep the elbows close to the body. A nice deep breath in, and we are stretching the front of the chest here, giving a squeeze to our lungs, because notice you can't take a full breath. And then lower all the way down on the exhale. Gently bring your arms by your side, palms up. Take that right cheek to the mat. Take a couple breaths here. And then come back to center, hands underneath the shoulders. Take the chin to the mat. Press all 10 toes on the in-breath. Lift the heart, bring the shoulders back. Press the hips into the mat without squeezing. Breathe. Take the gaze up. And then gently lower. And opposite cheek to the mat. Extend the arms down. All right, hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to do another front stretch here with the heart. Hands are going to come forward, palms down. So we are on our forearms. I'm going to get into Sphinx pose. So separate the feet a little bit here. Take a nice deep breath in, gaze forward, press all 10 toes in, shift the chest forward, heart moves forward, and take the gaze up. Chin stays parallel to the floor. Really feel like you're pulling the mat towards you. And then lower all the way down. Arms by your side, right cheek to mat. All right, hands come back underneath the shoulders, but shift them forward. Doing second set of Sphinx. Take a nice deep breath in as you press all 10 toes in. Shift the heart forward, shoulders back. Grip the mat like you're pulling the mat towards you without lifting your hands, and then gently take the gaze up. Shoulders back. Press the hips into the mat. Shift that heart forward. Breathe normally, and then release. Chest comes all the way down. Extend the arms out into a T. Tent your fingers, and on the inhale, we're going to gently lift the heart. And on the exhale, we're going to gently come down back to the mat. Inhale, lift. Press all 10 toes without clenching, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Hands come back underneath the shoulders. Gently lift yourself up. Come to table. And then come to a wide-legged child's pose. Knees to the width of the mat. Let your toes touch. Allow your hips to shift back towards the heels. Extend your arms forward. And gently lower your chest and forehead towards the mat. Maybe stimulating your third eye by shifting the forehead back and forth. Or just being in stillness. So notice as you breathe in how the back of the rib cage expands. Fill the belly. As you exhale, just notice what you feel in your body. Breathing in and out this way. Take a nice deep breath in, walk your hands towards your knees. Knees come hip distance apart. Shift yourself forward, so coming into a tabletop. Take a nice deep breath in. Let's raise that right arm towards the sky and then gently bring it underneath that right arm without dropping the shoulder. We're going to flow a couple times. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, reach through. One last time. Reach up, and then exhale, weave it through. Now drop that right shoulder, right temple to the mat. Extend that left arm forward. So I have a little thing here. So notice here how if you shift your hips a little forward, and you can do a few things here. One, you can bring your hand, that left hand, next to your face and gently press yourself into that shoulder. Or you can leave your arm extended forward. Or you can bring the arm behind you. So play with that and see what you want to feel or what feels good to you. Another thing is that you can lift your opposite leg of where your shoulder's lying, so that left leg can rise. And I would bring my hand just shoulder height, so or just in front of you, and then gently begin to lift that left leg up towards the sky. So again, reaching through so you feel that extension in the right arm and then right leg lifts. If you bend the knee around, that feels good. And then extend the leg and then bring it back. All right, begin to lift up. So bring that left arm back in if you have it extended out, and then reach up to the sky with that right arm. Reach high and then gently lower down. So you can shift your hips back and forth here a little bit gently. Kind of just move the body, and then we will do the opposite side. So left arm reaches high. Exhale, weave it through. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach high with that left arm, open up the chest. Exhale, weave it through. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, weave it through, and then drop that left shoulder over left temple, and then reach forward with that right arm. Again, play with your right arm, just depending on what you want to feel. You can leave it extended. You can bring it behind you, or you can support, bring a little more extension to that shoulder by reaching that left hand forward, and then that right hand gently presses in front of you and presses away, like you're pressing away the mat. So, but notice if your head shifts, bring that temple back to the mat. All right, so this is where if you want to play with the legs and lift that right leg up, pull the navel in, stay nice and steady with your breath. Extend that leg, so really feel the balance and the energy driving away from you through the toes. You can bend the leg, bend the knee, and extend back. And then gently, you can lower back down. If your arm is extended, bring it back, and we're going to begin to lift ourselves back up and inhale that left arm all the way up to the sky. And drop it back down. Wow, that felt good. All right, so let's bring the hips around in a circular motion, giving our hips some movement. So notice if your lungs feel a little different too. You feel it's good to cough, like you might cough to let some stuff out, some things, some fluid or, whatever you're feeling in there might shift. I feel a shift, so I'm wondering if maybe you might too. All right, so we're going to extend the knees back just a little bit and then gently lean forward, bring the heart up, and go into a little up dog without lifting the legs, and then gently bring the hips back like you're extending into child's pose, and then shift forward, coming into an up dog. You can lift the knees here and then gently shift back. Shift forward once again. And you can even curl the toes under and lift the knees up. And let's shift into down dog. So curl the toes under, shift, and lift the hips up towards the sky. And breathe. It feels good to hide out. You can do that too. Lift the heels high, bend the knees, take a hover, and take a gaze between your hands. And then gaze between the ankles, walk your dog. Bending one knee after the other. Gaze between the hands, lift the heels high, bend the knees. And then walk your feet to meet your hands. Come to a forward fold at the top of your mat. Ragdoll. You can grab elbow to elbow or release the hands and let them dangle. Take a gentle sway. Inhale, hands on the shins, come to your half lift, and let's root to rise. Come all the way back up. Palms touch, palms come to heart. So, rooting to rise. Let's come into a standing mountain. And hands can be at the heart in Anjala Mudra. Feet can be about hip distance apart, or they can be together depending on your practice. Usually in an advanced practice, feet are together. Beginner, intermediate, or so are about hip distance. So it just depends on what you want to feel too. All right, so grounding the feet, pressing the feet into the floor, toning the legs. So really feeling that shift in the legs as you activate the legs. Notice the glutes will slightly shift down. Take the navel in and up. Feel the chest rise, shoulders back and down. Allow the scapulas to slide. So another way you can feel this was by bringing the shoulders up and rolling the shoulders back so the scapulas slide down. Slightly tuck the tail. So rooting to rise, when you root to rise, it really is a rooting of the feet and creating those roots through the feet. So rooting to rise, I'm going to drop my hands and gently press into the floor as you root down, or I'm exaggerating the movement here, but it's what you feel as you root in, create those roots with the earth and the connection, and then to rise that, bring that energy to rise up and connect you to the ether, and then bring it back to your heart. So isn't that beautiful? So that's why we root to rise. Really activating the body and stretching up and bringing that energy back to heart. Let's do that again. Reach up, root in with your feet, reach up high with your arms, bring that energy back to your heart. Beautiful. So now we're going to do that in forward fold. So inhale, arms reach up. Let's reach back here, press the hips forward for a little back bend, and then let's flip the palms gently, swan dive down for your forward fold. Let's inhale, hands on the shins, and pull the navel here, pull it in and up towards the back of the spine. Shoulders shift back. I'm going to shift to the top of my mat so you can see sideways. And then gently take the palms down to the mat, extend your feet back, come into a plank or a modified plank. Here you can shift forward if you're on your knees and modified plank, gently shifting forward and coming all the way back down. Inhale, cobra. Arms, hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the elbows. Lift the chest, and then curl the toes under as you come back down, lifting yourself back up to a modified plank. Come back to full plank and shift back to your down dog. And then gaze between your hands, walk your feet to meet your hands, come to a forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins, and let's root to rise, coming all the way back up. Palms touch and palms come to heart. So we're going to do a little tapping, and it'll really help shift our energy that's stagnant in the body and really help our lungs activate those energy points in the lungs. So perfect timing, always perfect timing. We're going to begin to tap just underneath the collarbone. So lightly with the fingertips. Bring it out towards the shoulders and back in towards the sternum. Come back here to underneath the collarbone. So let's shift and make a soft fist, just like this, and using this part of your fingers here to gently tap on the lung meridians. So you can use one to tap on one side, and it's going to bring up some stuff. So, if there's some stuff that's stagnant, it's going to move it. And then switch sides. Or you can bring both. So it's just depending on what you feel, what you want to feel. You can shift sides or do it both, and then release and gently press the fingertips and then begin to tap. Bring the tap into the sternum, up the sternum, down the sternum, back to underneath the collarbone, and then begin to tap gently on the neck. And then you can bring the tapping down, bring the tapping up, and then the jawline. Gentle tapping. Carry the tapping onto the cheeks, below the eye, so right at that socket edge. Bring it back, bring it down the cheeks again, bring it up towards the bottom of the eye socket, and then bring it out towards the temples and then tap on the temples. Travel the fingers to the top of the brow to tap, then up the forehead, and then bring the tapping towards the crown of the head, maybe towards the back, back to the top, back to the hairline, down to the top of the brow, out towards the temples, traveling down below the eye, right at the eye socket, bottom of the eye socket, and then traveling out down the cheeks, jawline, neck, down to the collarbone. So you can take your time doing this. You don't have to go as fast as I'm going or slow. And then gently bring it back to the sternum. And then let's create those fists again and create a little bit of the tapping. So I'm just going to cross my arms and tap a little bit. All right, so let's release there. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's root to rise. Something's tickling my throat. Hands come to heart. All right, I'm trying to swallow because something really is tickling my throat. Excuse me. Tea and yoga. That pollen out there. All right, sorry about that. So come into mountain. Bear with me. Open my eyes tearing. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant the palms. Take both feet back. Come into a wide-legged chest pose and gently bring the hips back. Extend the arms forward. I'm coughing. All right. Walk the hands towards your knees. Knees come together. Shift the hips. And swing the legs around. So I'm going to shift and you're going to come into a lying down position. Extend your legs. Extend arms over the head. Both knees to chest. Full body stretch. Arms over the head. Legs stretch out. Bring the right knee to chest. This time we're going to go into a twist. Flex that right foot. Release the right arm. Bring it to a half T. And then left hand guides that right knee across the body. Gaze over the right fingertips. So notice how that tapping stimulates things in your body. Definitely stimulated something in mine. Come back to center. Release the leg, full body stretch as you reach over your head with your arms. Draw that left knee into chest. Flex the left foot and the right foot. Then extend that left arm out, and then we're going to guide that right knee across the body for our twist. Even my eyes tearing. So sometimes these practices bring up things on the mat. Sometimes these practices bring up things off the mat. So if you notice things off the mat or something, shifting, don't be surprised. Sometimes we have emotional releases as well on the mat or off the mat. But it's all part of that energy that we're moving that needs to be shifted out of our bodies, moved out of our bodies. All right, let's come back to center. Full body stretch, extend both legs, arms over the head. And then bend the knees. Bring the arms by your side. Take a little windshield wiper movement here with our legs. And we're going to do a somatic move with the hips with bridge pose. On the inhale, so take a nice deep breath in and release. Tuck the shoulders underneath the body, palms are down on the mat, and see if you can gently heel toe your heels towards as close to your butt as possible, grazing your fingertips with your heels. And if that's not happening, that's okay too. Just bring the feet as close to your butt as possible. On the in-breath, we're going to lift the hips up, take the chest towards the chin, and arms are going to come over the head. And then on the exhale, we're going to lower everything down. Inhale, hips rise, arms rise, and then exhale, lower everything down. Inhale, hips rise, arms rise. Really lift those hips high, chest towards the chin, and then lower everything down. Bring both knees into the chest. Give them a nice tight hug. Bring the shoulders towards the mat. See if you can grab elbow to elbow and give a rock of those knees. Just tightening up into a little ball. And then extend the legs, arms over the head for a full body stretch. Nice deep breath in, sigh it out, and then bring the arms to a T. Bend the knees, windshield wiper, left and right. Allow the knees to fall to the right side and take that right ankle to the upper left thigh, or on top of the left thigh, and then take the gaze to the left fingertips. Just allow yourself to breathe and allow your lower body to gently relax into the earth. Release that top ankle and then bring yourself back to center. Windshield wiper your legs again, back and forth. allow them to fall to the left side, left ankle, on top of the right thigh. And take the gaze to the right fingertips. Allow the hips to relax. Breathe through the tension you might feel in the lower part of your body or mid-back. Inhale, come back to center and uncross your legs. Bring your knees to your chest and then reach for the outsides of your feet or peace finger your toes. Allow the knees to gently fall open, and then you can begin to rock side to side for your happy baby. And if it feels good, you can extend one leg and then bring it back and then extend the other. Extending one side, bringing it back and extending the other. Coming back to your happy baby, giving a little rock. And then from here, extend the legs up to the sky, bring the arms down by your side, palms down. If it feels good to go into a shoulder stand, you can do that here. If it feels good to take that shoulder stand into a plow, you can do that here. So if you're going to go into a shoulder stand, you're going to want to support your lower back and lift your hips high. Bring the chest towards the chin. And then if you want to, I don't know if I have enough space, but if you want to take it into a plow, begin to lower your legs towards you. Feet come over your head. And then you gently lay on the toes onto the floor. Or you can stay in your shoulder stand. Or you can lower all the way down and keep your feet high. All of these movements really rest the nervous system. So if you're having trouble sleeping, you can put your legs up the wall for 7 minutes. Try it for 7 minutes, 7 days, and you should sleep like a baby. Alright, so you can take your Shavasana with legs up to the sky, or you can lower down and come into your Shavasana position, allowing yourself to fall into a nice long Shavasana. If you need to wiggle, or if you want to bring any further movements, like maybe rotating the ankles. If you want to take advantage of this long Shavasana, you can go into stillness right away. If you want to take a full body stretch before you shift into that state, by all means. Arms can be by your side, palms up. Allowing your energy to feel nice and rooted and supported. Beginning to shift the breath. Slowing it down. Allowing your eyes to close and your eyes to sink into their sockets. If it feels good to tuck the shoulders underneath the body, you can do that. And widens the collarbone. toes to fall open. And just notice if you're finding any kind of discomfort in the body and breathing into those spaces. Maybe drawing the breath where you feel you need it most. Maybe your heart needs it today and breathing into your heart feels good. So please stay in your Shavasana as I begin to shift back up. If it feels good to even roll onto your side, you're welcome to do that. And stay there for a little while until I cue you out. Feeling your body nice and heavy. I spoke about tapas, one of the niyamas, at the beginning. It is the times of hopeless desperation that shape and mold us into someone of depth. We forget sometimes in that fear and hopelessness, that desperation. This guideline not only speaks to our personal efforts, but also to those cathartic times of almost hopeless desperation when we find ourselves in the pain of unexpected loss or debilitating sickness, or in the throes of a life that seems like it has been turned upside down. It is almost as if God has checked the winds and started the fire, and we ourselves are the field that is being burned. And like the author's husband, who watched his father burn a field, none of it makes sense to us at the time. And yes, it is these times that shape and mold us into someone of depth. Our debris gets burned away, and we are left more humbled and strengthened by the mystery of what is beyond our grasp of control or of understanding. It is these darkest times of pain, loss, and confusion that weave something profound in us. Spiritual teacher Ram Dass speaks eloquently to this jewel of tapas. When he experienced a debilitating stroke, something he never expected to happen to him, he found a new opportunity for himself and for others as he began to wrestle with the possibilities and effects of aging. He chose to speak of the experience as being stroked by God, rather than as having had a stroke. And he termed the phrase fierce grace. to speak of the experience of being burned by the fire of divine love. It's so beautiful. Let's begin to bring awareness back by wiggling the toes and the fingers, rolling over to your side and gently rising back up to your seated position, hands at the heart center. Thank you so much for letting me guide your practice today, inviting you to bring your prayer hands up to your third eye as a reminder to think kind thoughts, down in front of your lips as a reminder to speak kind words, and back down in front of our hearts as a reminder to live life full of love, joy, inner strength, and fierce grace. From my heart to yours. Thank you for joining me today.